Okay.
Well, good morning and welcome back to another episode of Memories of Margaret, where the life and legacy of Margaret Curle will be shared through stories of her love for Christ and all people. I'm your host, Martha Sue French. I'm also the youngest of 6 children of Howard and Margaret Curle. Now, today we have another guest joining us. And while I am the youngest daughter and the youngest child, today we also have the youngest son, Kenny Curle. So,
Yes.
welcome,
Yes.
Kenny or Dookie. So,
Good
listen,
morning, and my
go ahead.
okay, I was gonna say they finally got the boys right, and then they finally got the girls right.
Didn't they?
Yay!
Finally. So now, please provide the viewers with a brief background or a bio on you and how you fit into this puzzle. We already said they got it right with the boys, they got it right with the girls. So kind of tell those who may
Right,
not be
right.
familiar with us, just tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, my name is Kenneth Wesley Curl. I am the fourth of six, the youngest boy. Uh, I I guess you might say I was kind of spoiled a little bit as the youngest boy because Billy and Jimmy, they always worked on the farm with Daddy, and I did after I got to a certain age, but he had all the help he needed at first, so I was kind of I was kind of a late bloomer, I guess, as far as getting started into the farming aspect of it. But I always had a great love for people because of Mama and Daddy, and that right there. I was married to my first wife for 20 years, and she passed away. And I'm married now to my wife Wanda, and we live in a little community called White Mills, Kentucky, and we are still passing on what Mama and Daddy gave to us.
Absolutely. And we're
Because the
going to
thing
have
is
some
this: no
great
matter where we
stories.
go, it seems like there's somebody. Yes, because no matter where I go, just like Jeremy was talking about last week, I think it was last week. No matter where you go, there's somebody that'll say, I still remember Howard and Margaret, and I still think about them, even 20 plus years after they have passed on. And I know that that's a great legacy that's passed on to us, and that's what we have to live up to because they instilled morals and compassion for people, I guess you might say, that we didn't get just from anywhere. Because, matter of fact, I saw a guy today, and we went. Wanda had to go to the doctor, and then we went to Cracker Barrel to eat. And some guy came over and told me, said, "I heard you laughing," and said, "I said that's got to be Howard Curle."
No way.
And look, I can't think of what his last name was. Yes, that's this morning. And he came over and he said, as soon Jackie Nunn, who was raised out in Roanoke with us, he stopped over first. And while I was talking to Jackie, we were sitting there talking and laughing about stuff back when we were in Roanoke. And then whenever he walked away, this other guy walked up and said, "I heard you over here talking and laughing," and said, "I told my wife, that's got to be Howard Curle over there." And he came over and we started talking then. And then he was talking about Daddy, and he used to work on the farm. He was raised in Siberia too.
Wow.
So no matter where we go, while there's always something, that's the legacy that they've left. And we want to do the same thing because they are living posthumously, and part of that is through what they instilled in us. Because that's what he was talking about, how that things had changed so much. He said, "If only we could go back to those times." He said, because things has changed so much. Because all the negativity, it's not born into kids; it is taught.
It
The
is.
racism and prejudices and hatred, all that is taught. Kids are kids, But then that's something that they didn't. Mama and Daddy just taught us love, and that's what I've gathered, from my life. And I'm just so thankful that God put us where we was.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, bro. And that's what we're going to be talking more about after I read a couple of these poems. So today's featured poems, they're not in any of Mama's poetry books, but they're two of our favorites. We talked about them because they're written in dialect.
Yes.
It's Dese, Chillun, and
Yes.
Little
Yes.
Birdie. Now, again, while they're not featured in any published poetry books, You can still purchase She Still Speaks, From My Heart to
Yes.
Yours, and On Speaking Terms with God through Amazon.com for $9.99 each. Now, right now, I'm going to read the poems. I'm going to read Little Birdie first, and then I'll read These Chillun.
Yes.
Because that is the title of this episode, is These Chillun, because she had 6 of us, and I'm sure the poem was about us. So first, I'm going to read Little Birdie.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Po little birdie, sitting on a limb, wonder what I am the matter with him. Wind am blowing so hard at him, he almost can't stay on the limb. Guess he cold. That's what the matter, making him shiver, him feathers chatter. Look at yonder, there he goes. Wonder where he going. Guess he knows. Guess him's hunting another limb where it's warmer. Po little him. And that's by Margaret Naomi Curle.
That's Mama.
That is Mama.
That's Mama. My Mama. Yeah.
Now, the other one is These Children. I tell you, it's taken after us. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. So I don't know which one you are, but I'm getting ready to see. And again, this is written in dialect, so I'm trying to read it in dialect as Mama wrote it. So, These Chillun.
Doing a great job.
I has the worst time with you chillin'. Stop that, Sam. Stop, you villain. Stop a punching Mandy's head. Wonder that their child ain't dead. You seem to think she made a rock, the way I heard you beat and knock. Now, won't you look at them 2 twins? The way they wrestle is 2 sins. Off that ground, Joe. You hear me, Mose? I got more to do than sew your clothes. Here's Roxy to tell on Mandy. Gail, give Roxy back her candy. These children filled with exasperation till I think I'm going to lose my salvation. Sam, take that cat off that dog's tail and take that cat from neath that pail. Where them gals? For the land's sake, here they come with a great big cake. What's all this, I'd like to know? What does this go to me for? Birthday present? You say? You saved your money for my birthday. You chillin' done it just for me? You can be good at times, I see. You just mean to have your fun. God bless my children, every one. Margaret Davis.
And she means it every word of that. God bless my children, every one. Exactly. This was instilled in us. And you know, I think about how much love and real quick, because I know you have a format to go, but I wanted to make this point is that when we were coming up, we were poor as far as earthly possessions.
Exactly.
But the love that was there was unmatchable. What I remember about Mama is it used to make me so mad that I would eat, and whatever I left on my plate, she would eat it. And I used to make me so mad. Why are you eating that? Didn't realize until later on in my life what she was doing. She made sure that Daddy and these children had what they had to eat. And if there wasn't enough to go around, that was her portion. She ate what we didn't eat.
What was left over.
And that's what stands out. So, yeah, she ate the leftovers. And it used to make me so mad. Mama, why are you eating that? And I didn't realize later that she ate that because it was love. She made sure that I had all I wanted. And hey, look, if I hadn't ate it all, she wouldn't have had anything. You know what I mean?
And if you think back on it, Kenny,
because that's what she ate was what was left.
Think about it. I don't remember a time when Mama did sit down with us. She made sure
was
all eaten, and she was up getting, Daddy's seconds or whatever. But I don't remember a time unless we were visiting somebody where she actually sat down with us, because she did. She made sure we all had it.
Yes. And she also cooked on a wood stove in Siberia. That's we didn't have a gas stove until we moved to Roanoke, and I was 10 years old then. And Mama cooked. She would take hobs and wood, and she had a wood cook stove with the little thing that you put over with the little caps, I guess you call them, over there, where you stick the cobs and stuff down there and get it going, but with the oven on it and everything. a wood stove. That's what she cooked on.
Well, if you
And
remember,
that's work.
even
Hot
though
work.
we had gas out in Roanoke, half the time we couldn't
Roanoke,
couldn't afford the gas, so she still cooked on
yes,
the wood
and
stove
she would cook on that stove.
down in
Yeah,
the kitchen.
she sure
Right.
did. She sure did.
Now I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you
yes,
have
exactly.
you have many memories of growing up in Roanoke and a mama and daddy. Um,
Right.
if do you have
Right.
any favorites you like to share? Because if you don't, I have a couple to get you going.
Well, now the one thing that's really, Mama never drove, and I remember we had an old '59 Ford, and Mama, my daddy would have to take Mama wherever she went, so Mama was gonna learn how to drive. And if you remember, then we started out the old house, and Mama drove up to Elsie and them, up to Elsie Congress up there at the end of Slack Road, and turned around and come back. But while I can't imagine what she went through with Daddy trying to teach her, as nervous as he was and telling her what to do with that. Mama, well, look, Mama hit, I think it was Miss Churchman's mailbox, and Daddy was tore up. That's the last lesson Mama took. Mama never tried to drive no more. Now you think about that with Daddy instruct, and look,
Oh no.
they said that Jimmy probably never would have drove if it hadn't been for Homer Trumbo, because Daddy was so nervous, and Jimmy was ready to learn how to drive. Of course, he was already driving some anyway, but Daddy was going to teach him how to drive. But that's what I remember about Mama, was never having to. Can you imagine that? Never, somebody that never you get around, always depending on somebody else to go wherever you want to. You think about that when people get older and they get to where they can't, because that's one of the last privileges that's taken away from us as we get older.
Right.
Is, that's one of the things that really hurts people when they lose their independence to drive. Mama never had that. She was always dependent on Daddy. And what I remember about them is that Mama saw the glass. She was an eternal optimist.
Always.
Daddy was a pessimist. This glass is half empty.
Hey,
said,
all
no,
the
Daddy,
time.
it's half full.
All the time.
Yes,
it's funny you mentioned that about driving, because I remember, and you were talking about Jimmy probably couldn't drive. Right. I honestly believe that if it wasn't for Mama, I wouldn't have driven, because if you think about it, Anne was married and gone, I believe, before she had her license.
Yes.
And Daddy did not sign for Oma to get her license. I think Oma might have been late teens, early 20s. I have to ask her.
Yeah,
so when I turned 16.
I know she was at least 19.
Yeah. So when I was 16, I got my license, because it read a parent has to sign for you. It didn't say your father has to sign for you. It said a parent.
Right, exactly.
So I had Jimmy take Mama down there and sign for me. So Mama wanted me to be independent. But like you said, I put him in the back of the car, because it was just a two-seater, because I didn't want him beside me, because he's a nervous Nelly. But his head popped up in the middle. I'm like, oh my Lord. So yeah, I couldn't do that. But speaking about Daddy, because like I said, again, you can't say Mama without saying Daddy. But
with that, exactly.
Tell the story you told briefly about Daddy getting on you about Jeremy.
Jeremy, Oma's son Jeremy. He was probably, I don't know, I want to say he was probably getting to be 11 or 12. First I said he's about 8. But I had came in one day, and Jeremy was Daddy was trying to tell Jeremy how to do something, stop doing something or whatever. He was correcting him. And Jeremy was fussing back at him. And I came in and I looked at Jeremy. I told Jeremy, I said, Jeremy, right now, you don't talk to your papa like that. Don't you never talk to him like that. And Daddy said, whoa. I said, I looked over at Daddy. Daddy said, now we've all made mistakes. Leave him alone. He want me to leave Jeremy alone. Let me try to correct him. And I said, but Daddy, I'm just trying to correct him, because he said, yeah, but we've all made mistakes. Leave him alone. Daddy was trying to correct him, but he was going to correct him. I wasn't going to. Jeremy was Daddy's. What I also remember about Jeremy was, look, every day, Daddy worked for the state, and he carried a lunchbox with him.
Yeah.
Every day of the work. I can remember Jeremy when he was a little kid. Why? these front two teeth, they were right in the middle.
Right.
And every day that Daddy came home, Jeremy would go to that lunchbox, and there was a candy bar in it. Every day of the world. If Daddy went to work, there was a candy bar when he came home for Jeremy.
I do not remember
But
that
that right
part.
there was just who it was. Yes. And also
funny.
what I remember also, okay, speaking about Mama and Daddy, of course, about Daddy was that there's a song that I sang. I sang some songs by a gospel artist named Michael Combs, and there's quite a few of them in there that have a country theme to it. But now see, I've got off right there because there's one that I sang it's not a gospel song, but it's called "I Believe" by Brooks and Dunn. And the first time that I saw the video of this on TV, it talks about this rural setting.
Wow.
And it starts out, it says, Old Man Wrigley lived in that white house down the street where I grew up. Old Man Wrigley was an old black man that lived in a white community, and he was loved by all. This young boy, he said that's what he remembered most was spending his summers sitting on Old Man Wrigley's front porch talking to him and what Old Man Wrigley taught him. I can remember us being at the old house and people coming over to the house, young guys coming over, and you would think they was coming to see me, Jimmy, or Billy, and they would be coming to talk to Daddy. Is hired here.
Wow. And
also the same with Mama. What I can also remember about living in Siberia was Lanny Highball lived across the road, and they had a big farm, and I mean they was loaded. Daddy worked for Mr. Arnold Highball.
Yeah.
On the farm, sitting in the back, whatever, paying everything. And what I remember most is Lanny Highball always wanting to come over. He would want to know if Margaret had some croquettes and some biscuits. He loved Mama's biscuits. He would stay over there, and he would come over there more than he and he had everything. We'd go over there, and he had these little tractor, little cast iron tractor, and all the farm equipment that you could think of. I was over in the yard playing with rocks and sticks, but Lanny would rather be over there than he would be at home because of the love. And okay. One thing that I can remember one time is Daddy was over to Mr. Highball's, and he was plowing tobacco with a horse. I won't ever forget it. And Aunt Mary, who kept us, Mammy, Aunt Mary, Daddy's aunt, Daddy's mother's sister, and she used to live with while Mama and Daddy worked. Mama did day work, and Daddy did farm work, and Aunt Mary stayed with us because we lived on that side of the And we was doing. I can't remember what the situation was, whether Aunt Mary was correcting the situation, and Lanny ran over to their house. Went up there and told Daddy, said, "Hired, you better get home." Said that old woman's over beating them boys. That old woman's over beating them boys because she was trying to correct us about something. You know what I'm saying? And look, especially Jimmy, because he loved Jimmy to death. But he said, "Hired." Said, "Look, that old woman's over there beating them boys." But I can remember so much about how Aunt Mary would always take care of us while Mama did day work. And you know, when you think about it nowadays, it don't seem like much at all, but I mean, they did what they could. Mama would work day work for people, clean houses.
Yep.
For $5 a day.
Yes.
$5 a day.
Yes. $5 a day.
And yes. And I'm gonna tell you what, to contribute, excuse me, and Aunt Mary would be at home taking care of the kids. Nowadays, there are people that have money is you make more money, but it doesn't have the worth it had then. And you know what I'm saying? But nowadays people have two jobs, and one job, all of it goes for child care. I don't know why they do that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know people, I work with people that did that. And then when they would tell me, they'd say, my wife works so-and-so, but everything she makes goes to take care of the kids. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you do it then? Why don't she stay home with the kids? But but the point I'm making is that at that time, they did what they could to provide for us.
Absolutely.
And it was hard because they didn't have the opportunities that we do. We have good paying jobs. We have, insurance through those jobs. They worked jobs that were, I don't know if the word's menial or not.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any benefits to it. They worked for what they made that day, what was laid in their hands. There was no benefits behind it. And that's what they had to do at that time. So therefore, and it had to be hard because I'm sure that they saw prejudices that we didn't see because we saw them too, but they shielded us from some of the stuff that I'm sure that they heard.
They shielded me from a lot.
There's no doubt about it. Yes, I know it. And that's what I just see so much. And there's a song also that talks about it's a song about missing somebody when they pass away. And one of the lines in it says, I see you in the things that I do. So many times I see Daddy and me when I'm looking in the mirror. And I didn't realize how much I look like Daddy until recently. But I look like Mama, but I also look like Daddy.
I think I've seen pictures you look more like Daddy.
That family. Yes. But now also some of the pictures that I see of you, I didn't realize how much you looked like Mama until was that Shannon that made the family reunion video that time? I don't know if it was the 09 or what. Whether she morphs.
The faces. Yes.
Yes. That one of you when she puts Mama's face, there's no difference. It don't hardly change at all. And I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't either.
She did that. I said, that looks so much. There's not that much change to it.
And that's the funny thing. I was saying this before. I didn't think no six of us look alike, but we all look like Mama and Dad at different stages in their life.
Yes, exactly. Crazy. And yes, because Jimmy, I did not know how much I look like Jimmy Curle. Me and Jimmy, and look, people tell me all the time, they tell me I look like Billy when he's sitting down. And they're short jokes. I've always heard them. But some guy at church told me one day, he told me, said, I didn't realize how much you look like Billy. And I thought, yeah, we favor a lot. And he said, yes. He said, you look like Billy when he's sitting down. I said, boy, I tell you what, we at church, I tell you what I think about you. But anyway, but Jimmy, I see every time I go into the bathroom, when I look in the mirror, I see Jimmy so much.
Wow.
And, Jimmy was such a part of my life. Okay, because here I go, because I get talking about everybody. Jimmy, my brother Jimmy, who's gone on to glory, he beat us to that too. But what I remember about Jimmy is the work ethic that Mama and Daddy taught him. Jimmy was working for James Dunn, and before he went to work for Bill Wilson, and he was working for James Dunn, and I don't think he was making a whole lot, but he was working, saving his money. When he got 16, he bought him a car, and Jimmy had a car that was that little Falcon.
That Ford, yes, I remember that.
Everybody wanted that Falcon because the motor because it had that foot peg on it with that foot thing, but it had the engine in it that was a race engine, and I mean that thing sounded good. But he got the work ethic that he had from Mama. We all do. Yeah. That's one thing we all did. We all worked. And and we were very, very fortunate that we didn't get mixed up into the things that a lot of people do because I know that there's a lot of kids that are that don't have the fortunate situation to be raised in a situation where we were because of the values that they taught us and stuff. I can remember one time, and I'm gonna tell you this, and this is directly compared to what we were taught. I can remember going to the fair one year, and I was probably maybe 5th or 6th grade. Don't know who the guys was I was with, but when we got to the fair, I was running around with some of the younger black boys from over in Hodgeville. And I can remember right out there by the fairgrounds where the stands was at, where they used to have the horse shows and stuff. You up in the big grandstand there.
Yeah.
And there was little sections there where you could sit in, with the cheers and stuff. And I think it was like a little booth. That's right there is what they used to sell for. Like you'd have your own section, have somebody's name on stuff. I know the man's name and everything. I'm not going to mention it, but I can remember he was on a cane, and he had some kind of deformity, and these guys went by and they was laughing right in this man's face, and they were pointing at him and laughing and everything. And I just walked over there to him and shook his hand and sat there and talked to him. I didn't want him to think that I was a part of that.
Right.
Because that wasn't something that we did. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. But I won't never forget it. I think I was probably maybe the 10, 11 years old, maybe 12. But I wanted to make sure that that guy knew that I wasn't a part of that. Because and I think he knew Daddy, if he told Mom and Daddy that I did that, you know what I get, don't you?
But do
I'd be
you?
correct.
That sounds very similar to that story Jeremy told about Mama going to that woman.
Really?
You know, it's the same thing. Okay, it says we're running out of time. I knew we were gonna get off topic. But anyway, it says we're running out of time. But I'm gonna skip ahead and I'm just gonna show you a few pictures. But you're gonna come back on because once I need to get Billy on here, I need to get Oma. And then once I do, then I want all of us to come on. I'm gonna have to really do good with that. But I'm gonna show you some of these pictures. I'm not gonna show the two I showed you last night. I'm gonna skip ahead. But just to see if it reminds you of anything. So
that's what I gotta say. What they jog, huh?
Yeah, if it jog, because one of them I just found today and I added to the to the picture. And I want to know if it's what I think it is. So hold on a second. Let me share this. Okay, I gotta share my screen. This first one, again, it says we have less, so I'm gonna go through pretty quick. Okay, can you see that?
Now I don't see the picture yet. It's still going around and around. You down in the corner. But the picture, has started screen sharing, but it's not yet. But they haven't come up yet. The picture hasn't came up yet. It's still twirling around, going around.
Well, maybe I'm gonna tell you what it is. Well, wait a minute. Like we done.
It said this meeting is being recorded, and then it doesn't have any pictures at all. Your picture went down to the. Oh, there you go. I remember that.
And what I remember most,
got the leisure suit when they were.
What I remember most about that is how you used to go every year and get our Christmas tree. And that was your job, was to decorate and get the tree.
Yes. We were, hey, look, we'll be driving down the road now, and I'll tell Wanda, I said that would have been a perfect tree right there. Look at that shape and stuff. I used to love doing that.
Yes.
But look, look, check out Daddy's collar right there. That is like he's going to Studio 54 or something.
He does.
He's got the leisure suit on.
Look.
Uh-oh.
There's your senior picture.
And Sue, as a matter of fact, I don't know who I borrowed it from, but I borrowed the tie and the shirt and the jacket, all I think from some of my friends that were taking the pictures that day.
No way. But that's what we had to do.
Yes.
You saying something.
Oh no.
You saying you up to no good. You saying something you can tell because you
I don't know how close somebody was to me, but I was trying to keep it on the down low. And look at fishes looking at me saying, boy, you need to be quiet.
You were talking about Jimmy.
Look, there's my boy right there.
Ain't it?
I love that picture right there.
That was down in Tennessee.
Picture right there.
It
sure is.
This is what I found.
Now that's
ain't that the house in
Upton? Mommy Poppy's, ain't it?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Mommy Poppy's.
That's Mommy Poppy's house in Upton because I remember this. I was 6 when we moved. Well, I was 6, I think, when they or 8 when they passed away. They passed away in 1968.
Right.
So I was I remember this.
Away.
I found this picture and I'm like, that's Mama Eve and Papa Eve's house.
It sure is.
Which is where Mama grew up.
Because I was 12 when they passed away. And they both passed away in 68 because Papa Eve had been sick. He was the sickest one. And then Mama Eve died first. And
no. Papa Eve died in March. And I
in
remember
March.
because
And then,
his either he died or his funeral was on Billy's birthday. And then because
okay,
Mama Eve was sick, and I remember she didn't go to his funeral because I stayed at the house with somebody that stayed with Mama Eve, and she kept
right.
hollering, "Oh, Eve, oh, Eve." And
Yes,
then she
yes.
died in June.
Yeah, she died in June. He died first, but she had been sick. And
Yes.
did you realize Papa Eve was born in 1870?
Wow.
And Mama Eve was born in okay. She was 89. He was 97. So how many? So that's
8 years.
8 years difference. So that means she was born in 1880, 1880 something. But anyway, do you realize what they saw? Papa Eve was almost born into slavery.
Absolutely.
And but now I can remember them right there. But you look at that right there. That's where Mama and Daddy was raised. But that they taught us about working, because I'm sure that if they had just helped their hand out, Mama Eve, Aunt Bill, Daddy's Daddy's grandparents, they would have given them what they needed. But they didn't do that. They made it on their own. They made it on
sure
their own.
did.
And I'm sure there was times when they had to say, well, look, we need this right here to make it, tell the things, whatever, that they took a little something. But as a whole, they taught us that we have to make it on your own.
Absolutely.
And that's what I
That's great
appreciate so
lessons to
much
learn.
about. Yes, exactly.
So I'm
Look,
gonna
but I
wrap
just
this
listen to
up.
you and I marvel at where you're at.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't want it
but
to cut us off. So let me wrap it up real quick, and then
okay,
I'll get you back on here.
okay,
But thank you, bro. Like
okay. That's good.
I knew we wouldn't have enough time. I might have to bring you back on another episode.
No,
But
okay, that'll be
thank you all.
anytime.
Thank you, bro. So again, thank you all once again
Yes.
for tuning
I
in.
love you, hon.
I love you too. So stay on, don't go nowhere. If you all haven't already,
Okay.
please subscribe to Memories of Margaret on YouTube or Spotify by simply clicking the subscribe button. Also, like us and follow us on Facebook page, Memories of Margaret. And if you'd like to be a guest on a feature episode, please leave us a message on the Facebook page, Memories of Margaret, or send an email to memoriesofmargaretnaomi@gmail.com. Now, in the next episode, I will be sharing more poetry and memories of Margaret and Howard. So again, until next time, make memories with your family. Thank you.